Meow. Yeah, I can't even do that. Um, yesterday was my return stream to AQ3D, and I mean, I had, I didn't expect so many of you to come out to support. It was undeniably one of my greatest streams, and even Artix himself was on call with us during the stream. But I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm here to talk about something that genuinely tilted me when I was made aware of it today. I hadn't looked at the infusion menu since the level cap was raised to 36, right? Because I was under the assumption, like many of the player base, that we would still be able to extract our infusion runes and have them be of some use in some way, be able to find some use for them. That everything we did was not just now 100% useless. That our time spent was not wasted. Now, arguably, you can say it wasn't wasted because we got use out of it before the level cap was raised, but I'll argue that in a little bit, right? So, anyways, as I said, we were on the assumption that we could take these infusion runes out. So, would you like to see if that's possible? Let's run over here. We have a Maximus. Okay, so and I took off. I think I took my shoulders. Yeah, my shoulders are off because that is what I use when I check this. So infuse. Let's infuse. I want to extract. I have no valid items. Now, if you look at my shoulders, 760, right? All of these were infused with infusion runes, right? And let's look at sandstone. So I have 999 innate sandstorm runes that are now 100% useless. And I have 730 sandstorm capstones that I can now convert into regular capstones to buy things, right? So that's the capstones themselves are not useless, I'll give you that. But these infused sandstorm runes here, these that you use by combining this and this. One, you can no longer combine them. That is fair. We have a new level cap. But but we now have nothing to do with these. I mean, I can delete them, but that might just be a waste. Give me a way to convert these into something useful. Give me a way to convert these into something useful. Because when you click on this here and you click on infusion runes and capstones, there was an item menu here that allowed you to exchange stuff, to infuse stuff, and it is no longer there. You convert 20 of these into 30 of these, right? It works out because you can just buy all of these and everything is now you're able to infuse them with gold. Great, because the level cap is no longer 35, and that was promised. Now I want you to bear with me. Let's take a trip down memory lane, right? Let's look at all of the things that they said. Capstones. Why are capstones here? The goal of capstones, and this is a post from Tuesday, December 15, 2020, when capstones first came out. The goal of level capstones and daily tasks, because you got the innate runes from daily tasks, and you got the capstones from leveling up. Simple goal, to make everything feel more rewarding. I want you to keep that in mind. The goal is to make everything feel more rewarding. Keep that in mind as we move along. Let's move to this next post from 27th of April 2021. Scroll down. This was an interview with Blaze. And all of this was nice, talking about what infusion was. Here they said, and I will give this to them, that there's going to be a new type of capstone for every end game, right? And it does not say anywhere that it will invalidate them, make them useless, right? They say the infusion runes are going to change at each endgame. We want everyone to be on the same playing field when we reach a new endgame level. And I'm going to take a little tangent here and go and show something else. Cool. So now let's keep all of these things in mind. We have the capstones being implemented for being rewarding, and we now have, the idea that we want players to be on the same level field at endgame, from endgame to endgame. Okay, now let us move to this. This was posted by me on the 2nd of December 2021. All right, and this was the day, I mean, I was a couple days behind on the grind, like maybe 4 days behind everybody else, but this was the day that I achieved my my max item infusion level using capstones and infusion runes and whatnot. And this was after the raid drop. This was when I got my Sun Fury scythe. So let's read what I said. Story time. Many players don't view being max infused or having max stats as an achievement. But to me, it feels somewhat satisfying. It did. Like back then, it really honestly did feel satisfying. Why? The level cap was raised to 35, on the 27th of April 2021. And with that brought the introduction of the Sandstorm capstones. And if you wanted to stay on top of the gear, you'd have gone for the Golden Valor back then, right? And I grinded that within a week. And that meant that I had grinded about 22 levels and before moving on. And then we fast forward to the raid, the release of the Sun Fury gear, right? 5 pieces of raid gear and boots and cape from the advanced capstone gear is what I was using. That would have cost me about 10 levels each for both of those pieces, right? And the Valor gear is, of course, non-refundable. Infusion aside, you would have probably spent about 32 levels on just gear, right? And then probably another 55 levels to get enough capstones to infuse all of them. Are you with me so far? And I want you to bear in mind that leveling up took about 3 hours of grinding, of hardcore grinding back then. So to summarize, right, you would have had to level up maybe about 87 times in the 219 days. This was back then, since the level cap was increased to be at that point. And if you are a casual player, that no way in hell would that have been possible, right? And I went on to say that initially I did feel accomplished, but after writing all of that, it was concerning, right? If you've read all of that, you understand why max stats should never be so far out of reach of somebody who just started the game. And I do still agree with that. Now, let me explicitly state that I agree with not being able to go from one endgame to the other with no effort involved, right? However, I do not agree with you telling all of these people that spent hours of their day playing your game to get the stats that we believed mattered, and they don't. And I'll leave a bunch of videos in the description, links to the videos for you to validate whether or not stats matter at the end game in terms of the variation we have. And yeah, I do not agree with telling us all that all of that grinding, all of that time we spent was for nothing. I know what some of you are gonna say, but lag, they said it's gonna be for nothing, right? So why did you grind it if you know this is how MMOs work? People just know this is not how MMOs work, and I can tell you because I've played a variety of different games, right? Other games compensate you for your time. They compensate you for your time in many, many ways. Some games allow you to use the gear that you leveled up on one account for an alt account via trading. If you have multiple characters on the same account, you can swap them through banks. Other games offer being able to remove the infusion or the power-ups that you used on your gear and being able to put them into new gear at a reduced rate. So if I put like 50 capstones in, for example, or 50 infusion runes in, I would only get 25 of those back out. And I'm not saying that's a bad deal, right? Because I would, at least it's not nothing. Because I am aware that I need to put in some effort to get to the end game of the next, to be uh max leveled or be relevant at the end game of the next saga or whatever it is, right? So I don't mind you taking away some of what I worked for by force of conversion, right? Or some people, some games, sorry, let you use the gear or use the items that you were able to infuse with, use it wholesale as some sort of fusion material requirement for your gear. Like if I have this at plus 25 using these runes, or if I was able to now extract these runes, I can turn them into something that I could use for the next saga. Similarly to how we can convert these, I would like to have been able to convert where is it? I would have liked to been able to convert all of these, because these, what is the point? Like, why what am I going to do with these now? What am I going to do with these, right? I have a way to I have my issue is that I have a way to deal with these, right? These sandstorm capstones, but I do not have a way to deal with any of these, and I am now faced with the decision to either just delete them or leave them in my inventory as a memento forever. So, and I don't know, this is not a complaint that is exclusive to me, and had I known about this prior, I would have brought it up in my stream yesterday when Otix was in the VC. However, I was made painfully aware of this today. And if I was not made aware of it today, I would have found out very soon, because I like to fiddle with stats and see how things work. And I was actually planning a video on, new endgame gear. But I think I've rambled on for a bit now, and I just, you know, again, I know you watch my videos, so I guess I look forward to hearing from you, the players, and seeing feedback from the devs. I look forward to seeing how things progress. So until then,